A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I want A plus English. That's so much fun. English education for you and everyone, so come along. Learn some grammar, learn a phrase, learn something new every day. Learn the A plus way. Hey, it's time to start the show. Are you ready? Good, 'cause here we go. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I want A plus English.
Hello everyone, welcome to A Plus English. I'm Mike.
I'm Chickling.
And today we are back looking at Idaho Bit. A very important day for the LGBTQ plus community. And of course, remember, love wins. And when people celebrate Idaho Bit, they are celebrating the wonderful rainbow of people that we have out there. It's May 17th, remember that? And it is a big, important day for lesbian, gay, bi, trans, and other people around the world. And not just them, they're allies too, right? Who might not fit in those categories, but who still want to support. Because, you know, it's important to love each other and to respect each other no matter how we are made. Our warm-up question is, do you think everyone should have the freedom to choose who they like? Why or why not?
Of course, they should have the freedom to choose who they like. Why? Who are you to tell them who to love?
I mean, if you're choosing who to fall in love with or something, obviously.
Yeah, you can I would be really mad or angry if someone was like, you can't like him because he's not my type, or he's not a good person.
Yeah, he's from a different country, or he looks different from you, or he's tall and you're short, so you can't be together, or something like that. These, of course, are things that you have no control of. They're just the way you're made. So why should that put limits on who you are, who you love, and the life that you lead? Remember, free to be you and me. As long as you're not hurting other people, then you should go on and do whatever the heck you want to do. And no one should be able to tell you what to do. But I'm going to tell you what to do right now.
Like what? What?
Let's get to the article.
Oh, great. Let's do it.
All right.
Love wins. Celebrating Idaho Bit across the world. Warm-up question. Do you think everyone should have the freedom to choose who they like? Why or why not?
Taiwan celebrates Idaho Bit to show support for the LGBTQIA+ community. This day holds special meaning for Taiwan. On May 17, 2019, Taiwan became the first Asian country to legalize same-sex marriage. This set an example for other countries. In Taiwan, same-sex couples can adopt children. They can make important decisions for each other in cases of illness or accidents.
Okay, so we are back and we're still talking about Idaho Bit. Remember, the important thing is to remember it's on May 17th. And if you can remember, it's the International Day Against Homophobia, Biphobia, and Transphobia. It is not okay to dislike people because of who they love, in other words. So it says Taiwan celebrates Idaho Bit to show support for the LGBTQIA+ community. Because, of course, showing support to people who are facing, violence or hatred or discrimination is important, and it's important for all of us to do it, not just the people in the community, but their allies, friends, family, supporters outside, to show that the people who do hate, that they are wrong and they are not going to find any friends among right-thinking people.
That's so cool, right? Because as a Taiwanese person, it's really nice to see Taiwan, our country, leading the way in celebrating and supporting this community, because it really shows how much progress our country has made.
Absolutely. And I think Taiwanese people of all types and all ages have a lot to be proud of, because Taiwan is definitely a leader in this part of the world, in Asia, in all of these issues. It says this day holds special meaning for Taiwan. On May 17th, there's that date again. On May 17th, 2019, Taiwan became the first Asian country to legalize same-sex marriage. Yay!
好骄傲。
People could marry whoever they wanted, no matter who they were.
I remember that moment when I knew it. I was like, oh my goodness, I was so happy because it was such a win for love and equality. 就是真的是平等哦，而且 not just in Taiwan, but across Asia. 让整个亚洲都知道 Taiwan. So you know Taiwan was the first Asian country to do that, right?
I did know that.
Yeah. It's so cool. Do you like feel proud too? Because now that you're kind of Taiwanese now.
Well, sure. And, I think it's a good thing to go around. A lot of people don't know things about Taiwan, interesting facts like this, so you can tell them. And actually, a lot of people around the world are very surprised by that and also very respectful of that. They think a lot of Taiwan when they learn these things. So that's something we should definitely wear on our sleeves. It's something we should be proud of and let the world know.
对，我真的是每次听到这件事情，我就觉得哇，台湾好棒哦！因为对我们来讲呢，这一天，在2019年5月17号呢，这一天哦，台湾是成为亚洲第一个合法化同性婚姻的国家，代表台湾真的好棒哦。
That's right. And if you're supporting the LGBTQ community yourself, that's great. And as a country, Taiwan is doing the same thing on the world stage. As it says, this set an example for other countries in the same way that you can set an example in your family or among your friends by supporting LGBT people. Taiwan can do the same thing internationally. And it says in Taiwan, same-sex couples can adopt children too.
Yeah.
So we can have families as well.
So it also makes me feel like that Taiwan showed the rest of Asia that it's possible to make meaningful changes. So like other countries or the rest of Asia can follow our lead too.
Yes,
所以我们也为了其他的国家树立了榜样。而且在台湾哦，同性伴侣不管你有没有结婚，都是可以收养孩子的。I just really think it's important to recognize that same-sex couples, they can be amazing parents too. Because at the end of the day, what matters the most is love and care, not gender, right?
Absolutely. And of course, all the couples and families with a man and a woman, the father and the mother, they're not all perfect families either, right? So it's not really about who the parents are. It's about the parents doing the right things and doing things with love. They can make important decisions for each other in cases of illness or accidents. This is one of the biggest things that people in the community wanted to get with marriage, right? Because marriage gives you certain legal rights. I mean, you can date someone for 40 years, but if that person dies or gets sick, the other person can't really help out, right? They're just a stranger in the law. But if you're married, all sorts of things can happen. And this gives protection to both people in the relationship and to any children that they choose to bring into their families. And that is a very big deal.
Yeah, it's such a big deal. So imagine not being able to make decisions for your partner during emergencies.
I know,
it would be so
terrifying.
heartbreaking. Yeah.
Yes.
So we know that Taiwan's laws make sure that couples don't have to deal with that. I think it's perfect. 因为你结婚的话，他才可以决定说你可能今天要死亡啦，或者是你有什么意外，你才有人帮你做重要的决定嘛。这边出现的 in cases of 就是在什么样的情况下。So what's your opinion on same-sex couples being able to adopt children? Do you think it's actually widely accepted now? I feel like some of my friends don't really. I don't know. It makes me kind of sad.
I mean, it's one of those hard things. It's really hard for me to think how people who don't like it are thinking.
I know.
You know what I mean?
Because but it makes me sad.
As I said, families with a mother and a father, a male, female who had the kids or adopted, there's a lot of those families may have big problems and the parents can be terrible and, they can face all sorts of awful situations and it has nothing to do with, the gender, if it's man or a woman. It's, it doesn't make any sense to me why they shouldn't be able to do the same things that other people do. Because we're all people.
I know. And what I think we should do is that we should put ourselves in their shoes. Right?
Absolutely.
You 就觉得说自己跟人家
imagine if, as a Taiwanese person, if you married an American, they would say, you can't have kids. I mean, that wouldn't make any sense, right? Just because I married an American guy or a guy with blonde hair or red hair or whatever, doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
So, Anyways, let's get back to our article.
Also, gender equality education has been carried out for years. more schools and businesses are adopting LGBTQIA+ friendly policies. These allow the community to live more safely. Over the years, Taiwan has become more open to the LGBTQIA+ community. This helps make our society a better place for all people.
All right, back to our article. It says also gender equality education has been carried out for years, okay? So because of course, a lot of this stuff is in the culture and maybe older people, parents and grandparents don't have the same open minds or the same worldly experience. So it's important for young kids to kind of know that, you know, there's different ways of living, different ways of thinking, and some ways that might be news for the kids might be really surprising for the parents.
这个很重要哦，因为如果小孩子从小就学到了说，equality 平等是很重要的，那他们之后就会知道说，哦，我们要去尊重每个人。So this is how you build the more understanding and open-minded society. If you teach your kids that equality matters, 那从他们很小就跟他们讲，这个 carry out 指的就是执行或者是落实的意思。
Yes, and also more schools and businesses are adopting LGBTQIA+ friendly policies, right? Allowing people to be who they want to be on the job or in the school, making sure there are no barriers, no walls, no fences, no boxes that people have to fight to get out of, or, you know, rules they have to get around by, I don't know, pretending to be different or whatever. None of that makes any sense, so it's not something anyone should put up with. These allow the community to live more safely. And the people who might, I don't like those, they realize that they're very lonely, those people. The people who don't like, you know, the different communities or different ways of living, they realize that they're not really going to find a lot of friends and support. And it's up to them to change because they shouldn't expect the world to change for them.
So when schools and workplaces are inclusive, it's like saying, hey, you're safe here. So it makes such a big difference for everyone, and not just the LGBTQIA+ community, because safety is our basic need, right? You need to feel safe, so you feel like, yeah, I can actually focus on living our best lives instead of constantly worrying about, I can't do this, I can't do that, you know? Like,
you need to feel safe, and you have a right to be safe as well. Yeah.
这边的一个名词加上 friendly 代表什么什么的友善，因为性别平等的教育其实多年前就一直在推行了。就像如果你去一间餐厅，你可以带宠物去，它就是一个 pet friendly restaurant， 就是名词加上一个 friendly。所以其实台湾很多学校跟企业都是有采用这个友善的政策，所以 actually have you noticed more policies related to this topic in schools or workplaces around you?
Well, I don't go to school anymore. I know that's a shock because I look so young. But
I thought you teach at schools.
No, not really.
Anymore?
I mean, I have noticed rainbow flags and stuff like that more. I've noticed, you know, businesses sort of being very forward with the fact that they're LGBTQ owned or something like that. But you know, in Canada, we've had a pretty open mind about this kind of stuff for a long time, too. I'm from Montreal, which is a city with a pretty open mind. So none of this is kind of news or surprising or a big change for me. But yeah, it's definitely, but I think also Taiwan has generally been a fairly open-minded country in many ways, on a lot of other things too. So, you know, I think this is just a good natural development for people. And, you know, what this happened 2019, right, when gay marriage became legal, and what's changed in Taiwan for what's gotten all, you know, better and worse. Well, it's just kind of the same and everyone's okay. So, you know, over the years, as it says, Taiwan has become more open to the LGBTQIA+ community. It has, absolutely. And it's been fairly painless. You know, there haven't been a lot of protests or, you know, terrible things that have happened. No, it's just life is going on as normal, and now more people can choose to live the way they want to live without being bothered.
我觉得呢，台湾能这样子做，其实早就应该做，但是我们做到，我们成为亚洲第一个国家。那大家也可以跟着台湾的脚步，对这些社群不要有任何的偏见哦。It's really important， 因为对每个人都是需要去包容的。
And the article says this helps make our society a better place for all people. Absolutely.
So we're talking about inclusivity here, 就是你要去包容，而且不是说只有 LGBTQ 这些人，我们还是讲的是群体。只要你每个人，因为每个人都是不一样的嘛 ，everyone is different, so you need to accept people, because when we feel accepted, the whole community becomes a happier and more positive place.
Exactly right. Well said.
Couple 就是情侣或夫妻的意思啊，伴侣啦，说情侣。那如果你要强调夫妻，就可以说 married couple。其实有时候不会讲的那么明显，所以我们可以说 The married couple celebrated their 50th anniversary with their family。那我们有时候会用 a couple of 来代表几个或一些的意思，比如说，我几分钟后就到了 ，I'll be there in a couple of minutes, so please wait for me。那我们看另外一个句子 ，Couples often give each other gifts on Valentine's Day to celebrate their love。情侣们呢，通常会在情人节互送礼物来庆祝他们的爱情。那我们有说你喜不喜欢一个人，这个决定 decision 就是决定 ，so you can make a decision。比如说 ，she made a quick decision to accept the job offer， 决定了很快速决定去接受这一份工作。Or if you find the decision very hard to make, you can call that a tough decision， 一个很困难的选择。比如说 ，it was a tough decision, but he knew it was the right thing to do。好，那我们再看另外一个句子 Jenny often feels lonely, so she made a decision to get a dog. 因为 Jenny 太常觉得孤单，所以她决定要养一只狗。那我们再看另外一个单字是 accident， 这个是意外的意思。所以比如说交通事故，英文可以说 a car accident。比如说 the car accident caused a major traffic jam on the highway。这个高速公路上面有严重的交通阻塞，因为有一场车祸。或者是说片语，我们可以说 by accident， 就是意外的。比如说 ，She found the lost necklace by accident while cleaning her room。那我们看另外一个句子哦。Amy had an accident this morning. She broke her leg. Amy 今天早上经历了一场事故，她的腿断了。那我们看另外一个句子，另外一个单字，最后一个单字 policy 就是政策的意思。我们讲到教育政策，英文就是 education policy。比如说 ，the government introduced a new education policy to improve schools， 或者是说你去遵守一个政策，就可以说 follow a policy。那我们再看今天的课文例句咯。This restaurant has a new policy this year. Customers can bring their pets inside. 这间餐厅有一个新的规定，顾客现在可以开始带他们的宠物入内了。OK， 所以是今天所有的单字，大家不要忘记复习。But before we wrap up today's lesson, let's go to our review time activity.
Review time.
Hello, everyone. We have a quick review to do before we can say goodbye and get on with celebrating Idaho Bit, because that's an important day to celebrate. And now is the time to do it. But before we get to that, as I said, let's review our new words for today. Those words, as I'm sure you all remember, were couple, decision, accident, and policy.
Ooh.
All right. Are you ready to go with a game of fill in the blanks?
Yes.
Okay. Well, I'm going to tell you about something I read in the newspaper. Apparently, the government has made a blank to change a blank about car blanks.
So the government has made the decision to change a policy in car accidents.
Exactly right.
Goodness.
There you go. Very well done. And the other one we had was I was walking down the street the other day and I saw a blank of basketball players.
A blank. You saw a few basketball players. A couple.
Just two. A couple of basketball players.
两个
They were easy to pick out because they're so tall.
不止情侣，还有当两个的意思也可以哦，
Yes.
几个也可以。
And I wanted to make sure that they didn't have a blank by, hitting their heads on a store
yeah,
sign.
I'm sure they didn't have an accident.
They didn't have an
Yeah,
accident.
that's great. That's great. OK， 所以今天的主题是不是很精彩呢？如果很精彩，欢迎到空中家教跟我们一起线上聊天喽，好吗
Yes.
？OK。
Indeed.
Okay.
Take care, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Love wins. Bye.